Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of Word in the Burg, our monthly topical talk show about all things having to do with Harrisburg. Well, I'm starting off my second term and the city is starting a new year, and we thought we'd begin with a look at the current business climate in Harrisburg, some of the things that are going right, some of the things that are really exciting and drawing more people downtown. And we're joined today by three wonderful guests, all of whom are very active in the development of downtown. First, we have Mr. Brad Jones, who is the CEO of Harristown. We also have Ama-Jo Johnson, who is the proprietor of Ama-Jo's in Strawberry Square. And we have Sean Donovan, who is the co-owner of Provisions, the new grocery store, which opened in downtown Harrisburg in Strawberry Square, which has been a tremendous hit. So looking forward to talking to all of you about some of the things that are going on in the downtown. I thought I'd start, though, just by saying that one of the things that's very excited about, I'm particularly very excited about, is the fact that for the last 2 years we've shown an increase in tax revenue across the board in Harrisburg. We've seen an increase in local services tax, which shows in general that more people are working in the city. We've seen an increase in earned income taxes, which shows that in general people are earning more money for working. We've seen an increase in mercantile tax revenue and parking revenue. All these things are very good examples of an increase in a desire to live and work in the city of Harrisburg. So, Brad, let's start with you. Sure. And one of the things that's amazing about Strawberry Square is that what it looks like today, from about 4 years ago, it's been a complete transformation. Can you talk to the vision and how it's progressing and what is to come?
Yeah, sure. Well, we're very excited about the growth and development and the sort of reinvention of Strawberry Square. I mean, really, in the last several years, we've added over 1,000 new employees into just Strawberry Square.
That's amazing.
I'm fortunate here to be with two of our star tenants here in the square. We're adding to that. But just the whole, new influx of all these other folks working here in the downtown sort of points to the point you made about, just the growth in, revenue and the growth in, people working. We know that there are over 25,000 people in the downtown that come to work every day. And now we have, in addition to that, we've got all kinds of new businesses that are coming in to support all these folks. And we also have a whole bunch of, hundreds of new residents that are living now in the downtown as well, which is, makes for a really bustling, center city.
Yeah, so from your perspective, I think we've not only seen an increase on the residential side in terms of some of the high-end apartments, but we've also seen all of these new businesses come in to Strawberry Square really in the relatively short term.
Yes.
Can you list some of the
Yeah,
the new
sure.
businesses?
We have a great and growing technology corridor. We've added technology companies like Work Express is a software developer in Strawberry Square. We have RGS Associates, who is a land planning firm that's new to the square. We have Sellers Dorsey, which is a healthcare consulting company. We have Pugliese Associates, which is a government affairs. So these are just some of the private sector tenants that have come to, Strawberry Square recently. And then on top of that, we were lucky enough to land a big deal with all the folks from the State Farm Show Annex out there moving to downtown into the Commonwealth Tower back in 15 and 16. And that was, about 900 new employees. So, it's really been just a fantastic influx and a very diverse group of folks. We've also seen a medical corridor starting to emerge here with, UPMC Pinnacle now having a doctor's office in Strawberry Square. We also have, our biggest retail deal ever, which is a 14,000 square foot Rite Aid. They have just about everything but a lumber section in there, and the only thing you can't buy is lumber and used tires.
Are you working on those?
We're trying to get those. But, and we have, we're continuing to see, more signs that, UPMC might be making more investments in the city. We also see in the educational corridor continuing to boom with Harrisburg U and its growth, Temple, Capillary School for the Arts. It's exciting.
So, and Strawberry Square alone in that complex, over 1,000 more jobs than were here just 4 years ago.
That's right.
That's bringing more people to the downtown, more people living and working. More revenues, but also more demand. So, Ama Jo, let me turn to you and talk to you a little bit about the retail climate and why it is that people are interested in starting a business in Harrisburg. And let me just say, by way of introduction, that I was at lunch today. And I happened to overhear this conversation that was going on, and somebody turned to another person and said, "Oh, I love your handbag," and they said, "Ama Jo." That's all they said was Ama Jo.
That is so
and
great.
implying that Ama Jo is basically a brand.
Yes.
And so tell us, what is this brand? And then we'll talk a little bit more about but everyone in that conversation knew what it meant. I knew what it meant, of course.
That is
but
so exciting.
What does it mean to have a handbag which is Ama Jo?
I'm telling you, first of all, thank you for sharing that. That was like, it couldn't have been any greater than that. But the Ama Jo brand, we're women accessories and handbags, and we do have a men's corner, Mayor.
Okay.
So
All
probably you've been there, but pop over anytime.
Okay.
But I design the handbags, and I'm born and raised in Pennsylvania, and when I wanted to have my retail showroom, everyone said go to New York, go all of these different places, and I said no. This is the capital city of Pennsylvania. I'm born and raised here. This is where I want to be, and I cannot tell you how supportive this community has been to building my brand. So we're designing new stuff and lots of new stuff coming. It's been a great experience.
So tell us about the retail climate in downtown and maybe how it's changed. Because here you are, you've built this brand, it's a successful brand, but why choose to go into that difficult job of day-to-day retail in an urban center?
Yeah, well, first of all, anyone who's in retail that loves it, we don't know why we love the craziness. It's just so crazy, but I love it. It's in my blood. That's where I started my career. But the retail climate overall is, we all know it's like changing all the time. But I think that it is the greatest time for small local retailers. You're even seeing this on like a big scale. Like even Amazon is doing little pop-up shops because, being online is great, but at the end of the day, people do want a touch, feel, see experience, especially women, with the handbags and stuff like that. And particularly in Harrisburg and central Pennsylvania in general, we are great supporters of local brands. It's something that I see. So me as a retailer, having the showroom was, I don't think that I would have been able to continue to make it just online. The showroom and having a presence here has been a really, it's been a connector for me building my brand, and that's all brands are. They're an experience.
No, absolutely. And I really feel the same way. There's a desire to shop local and support local businesses. With shopping online can be dull and disconnected, and I think more and more there's an opportunity for retail to grow if you are catering to what the public wants, and that's an opportunity to actually see and try and experience shopping. I know your store in particular has grown over the years, right? You've expanded.
It has.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we opened in 2015, 2 days before Christmas. It was perfect. All the procrastinators were coming in and shopping. And then that next year in July, we expanded into the next space, and we added a few different handbag lines, and we added more lifestyle, because everything in fashion and in retail in general is about lifestyle. So we've added jewelry, we've added the men's, a little bit home. And so based on, just like what you said, the demand is so important. We just start adding what people ask for. And they're coming downtown and asking for, lots of stuff. And people love shopping when they're downtown working, so it's great.
And I assume you've seen with the thousands of new jobs that have come in the past several years and all the new businesses relocating, just more foot traffic generally.
Definitely more foot traffic. And, I think people need to understand that not only people live downtown, but there's so many people that work downtown. And we even get so much traffic from transients, people going to the bus station or staying at the Hilton. And so I think all these local brands just add just a great story.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And Sean, speaking of filling a need for in the marketplace for what the public wants, there's been talk for years about the need for an urban grocery store, and I'm sure you can speak a little bit to the history of why now, why this moment, and just generally, I think a lot of people maybe felt that you couldn't run a grocery store in Harrisburg, and yet you're succeeding in doing it. So tell us about why you chose your location and why this particular business.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a very good question. So we started this process actually about 3 years ago. I was out to lunch with the co-founder, and I were at lunch, and we were talking. He happens to live in Midtown.
Yeah.
I live not too far away in Wormleysburg, and one of the comments he made to me at lunch is, why is it I have to have a car in order to get food? It shouldn't be a necessity living in the city to have to get in a car, drive 5 miles, get out, walk across the parking lot, and go into a grocery store. And at the time, again, getting back to the online discussion, like Amma, our brand started as an online business. We were seeing the same thing. We were having great success in the major cities on both coasts, but we really weren't doing much in either central Pennsylvania or even the middle of the country. And through this conversation, one of the things we came up with is that people in this area still like to be connected with their food. Mm-hmm. It's one of those things people want to touch and see, and they want to get the right amount. A lot of times some of the things that are carried, if you're not familiar with it, you haven't tried it before, you're not sure what to do, you're not going to order, a 5-pound bag of something if you're not sure if it's something that you're going to like. So that kind of led us down the road with the concept that we have. So we kind of picked a zero waste model that does a couple different things for you. Number one, we don't waste as much food in the process, which helps keep prices reasonable. It's probably one of the biggest comments that we've received since we've opened is, how do you guys do it? How do you keep these prices so low? And one of the things is we're not throwing a lot away. We're ordering what we need. We know we've kind of gauged the demand of the neighborhood. Occasionally we run out of things from time to time, but part of that is that we're not throwing it away at the end of the day, which in the end drives up your cost. But that also helps too, because you can come into the store and buy exactly what you need. You don't have to buy that 5-pound bag of flour. You can come in and get 2 or 3 cups of flour for the recipe that you're making, or a couple ounces of that spice that you really want to put on a marinade or something you want to try. It gives people the ability to have that variety and kind of get the balance back into their diet and some of the things that they need. And it gives them a chance to experiment a little bit without taking a big risk.
Yeah, and if people haven't been, I think one of the most exciting things is you can buy in bulk, or you can buy in 1 ounce. I bought a single ounce of a spice that I was looking for, and that was not a problem. But imagine eliminating all the boxes from a grocery store, and what that can save in terms of space alone. Mm-hmm. So we talk about adapting small business to an urban setting. Well, you've really done that in a clever way, because you're able to keep your square footage down to a reasonable amount of square footage. Your waste disappears, and people get exactly what they want. I'll tell you a story. When I was there near the opening, I was pleased to say we just launched the bike share in Harrisburg, and lo and behold, there was somebody who had taken the bike share all the way from Riverside up in Division Street, ridden down, was selecting their groceries for the evening. I think it was beans and rice, each purchased in the exact amount from the containers for some sort of delicious confection, and then they were going to bike home, and they loved it. So who's your target audience? Is it that person who lives in the city and doesn't want to have to drive? And tell us more about how you're targeting those folks.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a couple different target groups, and actually it's one of the reasons we selected downtown. There's a nice convergence there. You have the commuters there that are looking for things on their way home. They may not want to stop at the store. Again, that takes time out of their day. They're already out of their car. They can walk in, get what they need, and then continue on with their day. Whether they're commuting by train, by the bus, or by car, we're in that right spot for that group. The second group is residents. Basically, we really wanted to put it in an area where people could walk to. At our current location, there's 4,000 households within a 10-minute walk, which is, again, you can't get the density like that anywhere outside of the city. And if you take that out to about a mile, that increases to about 13,000 households. And that's a reasonable distance for folks to come in. And so those are kind of the two main groups that we're really trying to market to. And it's two different ways that we reach those. For the residents, we've been doing a lot of outreach through local media. We've been talking to folks in the Burg, taking out ads there. We've been working with different neighborhood groups. We've been working with just a couple different ways just to get the word out. Again, an immediate footprint. With the commuters, we've broadened that out a little bit. I've been working with some of the natural food groups that are in the area, so kind of networking through that group, as well as the Young Professionals group in Harrisburg has been a great resource for us. And again, just getting the word out, letting people know that we're there and what we have to offer.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you another anecdote, which is that I was just meeting with the mayor of another city, newly elected, and they had come to Harrisburg for the day. And after we were done talking, they said, "Oh, and I want to check out your new grocery store." And I sent them right underneath the arcade, and they went to Revision. So the first place that they went to, because they wanted to see a successful grocery store in the heart of a third-class city, and you've managed to do it when maybe others said it wasn't possible. And it really is a space-age type store. It's beautifully designed. Again, you can get exactly what you want, and congratulations. We're thrilled to have you.
Well, thank you.
So Brad, back to you. We've talked a lot about the changes that have happened over the past 4 years, some of the emerging corridors, the new jobs. Let's talk a little bit about maybe you see where we're going over the next 5 years or so. I know Harristown in particular has a number of exciting projects on the horizon. Do you want to mention some of those?
Sure, yeah. We're actually looking at a variety of projects. We actually have, I think, 3 or 4 projects in front of the City Council right now. We want to build more apartments for young professionals and millennials and empty nesters, and just we feel like the downtown is really hot market right now for urban living. People really want to live close by to everything. I mean, you can, as Sean and Amma are a testament to, food, fitness, fun, entertainment, pharmacy, all these things you can't find a downtown that has so much connectivity to goods and services, like our downtown. So we're going to build more apartments. And we've got a couple projects we're going to start real soon. In the downtown, we're looking at and kicking the tires on a bunch more. We're hoping to try to build another 100 apartments in the downtown over the next couple of years. We're also looking. We want to bring more jobs to the city, and that could mean bringing them from the suburbs, or could mean bringing them from out of town. And we've got several projects. We're looking to develop commercial office projects. In addition, first floor restaurant, retail. We right now have a request for proposals out for a downtown brewery, which we really would like to kind of get to cement in, kind of almost the last thing that you really need. It'd be great to have a downtown brewery and restaurant or brew pub. So we have a lot to offer here. We're very excited about, entrepreneurs like Amma and Sean, have blazed the path here. And we think, as Amma had pointed out, this is a great city to be an entrepreneur. There's a lot of opportunity here, and we think that the future is going to be very bright.
That's wonderful. And just let me say, one of the small things that you've done, which I think has made a tremendous difference, is just I love the lighting along South 3rd Street. It has turned that area into one of the most desirable places to go at night in Harrisburg, really, and it's brilliant. It really is wonderful. I assume we'll see more of this as we move forward.
We're looking forward to we've got 8 storefronts there along that corridor, and we've got a bunch of letters of intent and proposals out, so we're trying to make that an even more interesting, exciting corridor.
Knits the whole streetscape together, and it gives people a positive feeling for the city. So, Joe, to you, what's in store for the future for you?
Absolutely. We're obviously continuing to build our brand and doing outreach to the community. And, one of the trends that's really growing for retailers, especially in fashion, is the whole order online, pick up in the showroom feature. Is growing even for the big box retailers. So we We do a lot of local marketing. We do a lot of social media advertising, and we market to Mechanicsburg and Camp Hill and Lancaster. So our hope is that even people who are local, who maybe haven't been downtown for a while, that we can reintroduce them to all this energy and the buzz that's going on downtown. And not only that, they can come down and shop Amajo, but we're only as good as everyone around us. So we want to sell people on the downtown experience. So when my customers come downtown, I'm like, have you eaten at Fresno Bistro yet?
Exactly.
Or have you gone to Cafe
It's
Fresco?
a cooperative
yeah, it's
effort.
a
It really
cooperative
is.
because it's all of those things that make people want to come downtown and come back. So we're looking to build that feature, and then also just doing more direct to consumer marketing, and we do a lot of focus groups for our design, so we have a lot more designs coming up. So we're just looking to growing there in the square.
That's great. Some of the best retail experiences anywhere in central Pennsylvania, some of the best food and dining experiences anywhere,
Absolutely.
and some of the best living accommodations
Yes.
anywhere with all these renovations.
Which are so
it's the
unique.
perfect,
It is.
perfect package.
Absolutely.
Is there some advice? You are a successful entrepreneur, and I believe that entrepreneurs and
you.
small businesses is really the backbone of
Yeah.
of the economy. They're the engine that is fueling Harrisburg's growth and initiative. Can you give some advice to people that are watching that maybe would like to start their own business? What have you learned?
I think starting online, kind of like you did, the one thing I would encourage people to do is not to just get so into this fallacy. There's this fallacy of being this online retailer, and that like, I'm just going to open a store online and it's just going to take off. You have to be a part of the community, and I think for small retailers, we're seeing that is so important again, where it was almost kind of like that was going out of style. I would say to entrepreneurs, be a part of your local community. Don't forget the people that are around you, because I have grown because of women in Pennsylvania, men in Pennsylvania supporting me. That's a great foundation. And I would say for especially those in retail or in food services, to look at Harrisburg, because the local support is very strong. As Brad alluded to, all these companies expanding, those employees shop, eat, they are downtown. They love the convenience of shopping. So I'd say fill all the spaces, come check it out, and just be a part of the energy that's growing. And I love what you and your team are doing, like keeping the events going strong and things like that. That's what keeps people coming back to the city.
Well, speaking of city events, we're adding a new event this winter. We're adding the Fire and Ice Festival.
Oh, yes, I
where
did see
there will
that.
be a skating rink in the middle of 2nd Street.
Oh my
It's going to be our
gosh.
first attempt at a new winter festival. We'll add that now to the series of events the city's doing, and we'll have a
exciting.
word on the Burg on this in the future. But yes, we're
exciting.
trying to provide that additional, and the downtown improvement district's doing great things, and everybody is working to try and increase the number of things that you can do when you come
Absolutely.
downtown.
Yeah,
so I
that's
agree with
great.
all your advice for entrepreneurs, by the way, and I think that is exactly one of the reasons why Harrisburg is the right place.
Absolutely.
You've got a loyal and committed customer base. The cost of living and the cost of doing business is less than it would be
Absolutely.
in other major metropolitan areas, and you can really make your mark and be successful.
Absolutely. And what, I would say one more thing.
Okay.
For everyone to continue to keep it positive. We say things sometimes like, oh, that's not going to happen in Harrisburg. Well, yes, it can. It can happen here, and we want it to happen here. And so I think those of us who are here need to continue to be cheerful and excited, and, to believe in the city like you're believing in the city.
I couldn't agree
like
more.
be positive.
Yes, that's right. And sometimes, it is hard to run a business.
It
and
is.
But
It is.
you shouldn't lose sight of all the positives that are going on, and it
Yes.
really requires that sort of continued energy and spirit to
It
be
does.
successful.
It
So
does.
stay positive and you'll be successful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good advice. I assume, Sean, you agree with this advice.
I would definitely agree with that. Yeah.
Can you talk about your advice as here you are, a successful entrepreneur? You've moved and expanded your business. What's your advice to people watching?
Yeah, absolutely. And my advice is, again, to Amma's point, there's a lot of resources that are available here to entrepreneurs in the city. One of the greatest helps to us was the Small Business Development Center. Kind of taking a look at the idea and the plans and making sure that you're on the right track. Kind of giving you that advice before you launch. to kind of know where your problems might be. As smooth as everything looks on the surface, we all make this look easy.
Yeah.
There are going to be bumps in the road, but it's knowing where the bumps are and being able to anticipate those a little bit ahead of time.
So how do people reach out and get that advice? And
Yeah, so what they could do, it's Kutztown Small Business Development Center. They're up on North Front Street at 3211 next to the Jewish Community Center. They can call up there or walk in and speak with them. They're also online, but it's a great first step. I mean, that's a good way to do it. They're a good partner. There are other groups around the city as well. You have Community First Fund in Midtown, and if you're in the tech sector, Ben Franklin Technology Partners. There's a lot of good groups out there they're out there to help businesses kind of get started and make their mark. So, if you have an idea or you have a thought for an idea, reach out. These groups a lot of times have consultations at no charge. You can sit down and talk with somebody and they'll review your plan and give you some feedback.
That's great. And you can also contact the city of Harrisburg. We have a business development office. We can put you in touch with those folks and those resources. And I think you're right to mention the Community First Fund. They've done some amazing projects in the city, and the city is looking to help partner with them. I know Impact Harrisburg has helped seed them with some additional money to use for loans. There's lots of financing out there. In terms of just basic advice, if you're aside from asking and doing your due diligence, if somebody's watching and they want to start a business in Harrisburg, do you have a handful of quick tips that you would say?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it kind of comes back to some of the same. It's making sure you know your market, know what you're doing. As I said, it took us 3 years to kind of go.
You really did your research, and I know Brad, you do this at Harristown as well, and Amadou, I'm sure you did before you opened. But you did a series of surveys to determine what people would want, and I know even now that if people want to see this spice or this item, you had a list on opening day of new things to add, and it requires being adaptive and responsive on a regular basis, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Listening to your customer. Again. Getting to know what who your customer is and what their needs are is a huge thing. One of the big things we're going to be rolling out throughout the course of this year. We did a lot of things to get things open and get things moving. But one of our goals is to get more local products in there. We did very well in the coffee section. We're proud to say that all of the coffee in our coffee section comes from the city of Harrisburg.
Nice.
And there's there's a lot of sections in the store where we're bringing in city products. But again, it's doing the research. A lot of people, when it comes to food, they want local and they want certain things, and we're trying to bring that here. I mean, again, this is a great area of the country to be in. There's almost nothing that we can't get somewhere within the region. It just takes a little bit of time and effort. Again, we knew we needed to get up and running. We needed to get things proven, but now we're starting to move into that model. How do we fill that out a little bit?
And I'm sure you will continue to adapt and adjust, and we will look forward to watching as your business grows and changes and expands.
It keeps the excitement there as well, because again, it gives folks a reason to come back. They want to see what's new. They want to see what's different.
Great. Well, I want to thank all of my guests. This has been a terrific, lively conversation. For those of you watching at home, again, Harrisburg continues to grow. It is a wonderful place to own and operate and a small business. We hope you'll learn more. You can visit all the wonderful changes that are going on at Strawberry Square and in the downtown. Please visit Ama Joe's. Please visit Provisions. And we will see you next time on Word in the Burg. Thanks for watching.